Washington, D.C. is probably the most significant city in the world. It's a world that's built for Satan.
We see a wonderful historic day for the nation, and the Freemasons of the United States of America are most privileged and happy to be able to participate in this momentous event. We are beginning our day, as we do in Freemasonry, with the thought of God. In order to be a Freemason, one must not belong to any particular religion, but he must believe in a supreme being in some form. Senator Thurman, members of Congress, most worshipful Grand Masters, my brother Masons, and my fellow Americans. Today is a most sacred and special occasion for all of us. 200 years ago, beneath this hallowed sanctuary, the Capitol cornerstone was laid by President and then Grand Master of Freemasons, George Washington. The inauguration of George Washington had taken place on April 30th of that year, on the Bible which is here this morning through the courtesy of St. John's Lodge number 1. This is the same Bible upon which Presidents Clinton, Bush, Carter, and George Washington were inaugurated president.
The story of how Washington, D.C. came to be is very interesting. Washington, D.C. was originally farmland. This was chosen, of course, by Jefferson and Washington and others to be the site of the new capital of the United States. But Thomas Jefferson knew that this great city needed a full-time architect. He would be the one who watched over it, but he obtained the services of a man from France, a Freemason named Pierre Lafont. Pierre Lafont was a man who knew the Masonic occult world. He knew what he was designated to do. He sought to build a city which was shaped in the form of a pentagram.
The first time I heard that, you know what I did? I went on Google Earth. Because I don't just believe everything I hear. I went on Google Earth. I didn't even look at a map. I looked at Google Earth and just zoomed in with a satellite image on that, and I said, there it is. I mean, you'd have to be blind not to see it. I was thinking like, okay, how am I going to find it? And there was just, it's right there. You can't miss it. The United States of America has historically been a Christian nation in the sense that most of the people who live here have claimed the name of Jesus Christ. But when it comes to our government, when it comes to our leaders, it's a completely different story. They are not Christian at all. All you have to do is just walk around Washington, D.C.
The city of Washington, D.C. is loaded with images and idols and obelisks, satanic symbols and stuff like that.
Of course, the whole world knows the name Washington, D.C. What does it mean? Well, of course, it's named after George Washington, the general who defeated the English in the American Revolution. Washington
statue of Athena. And here's another statue of Athena. And look at the capitals of the states themselves. In fact, even the symbol of our nation is a graven image. Because the Statue of Liberty is a graven image by anybody's definition. It is a carved image of man. Now you say, well, it's a woman. But here's the thing. It's a man that's dressed up as a woman. I'm not kidding. You think I'm kidding, but I'm not. See, Lady Liberty is actually patterned after the Greek god Prometheus. That god right there is the light bearer. Or Lucifer, even. The one who brings the light, who is the one who supposedly among the gods brought down knowledge, right? How, like, sort of like the knowledge of good and evil, perhaps? Like, hey, eat of that tree and you'll be like gods. He, Prometheus, was the one who did that. And that is a replica of Prometheus.
They're all idols of Satan. That's what we have in Washington, D.C. They're beautiful. Oh, yes, they're beautiful. They're lovely. They're made of stone. But they are of the devil. There's a famous book published by Freemasonry in Washington, D.C. It's entitled 10,000 Famous Freemasons. That's the title of it. 10,000 Famous Freemasons. It's a great reference book. You'll find the names of astonishing people there. In fact, it seems that at least 14 U.S. presidents have been Freemasons. Some 35 Supreme Court judges have been Freemasons. And the numbers of governors and generals and senators and congressmen are innumerable.
Laying the cornerstones of buildings which serve mankind is one of the world's most ancient customs.
Bush calls it the New World Order.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind. With few exceptions, the world now stands as one. The world can therefore seize this opportunity to fulfill the long-held promise of the New World Order. We can find meaning and reward by serving some higher purpose than ourselves. A shining purpose, the illumination of 1,000 points of light.
President Bush's New World Order is very much an evolving idea. He may be keeping it vague deliberately. In any case, it is easier to invoke than it is to explain or to implement.
Obviously, they are talking about globalization. They are talking about the merging of nations and of continents under an economic system, under a military system, and a governmental system, all of which, of course, the elite would control for their own purposes.
The president first spoke of a new world order amid the collapse of communism in Eastern Europe, the revolutions of 1989. But critics observe it is more than just the absence of the Cold War. It is building new institutions to manage crisis and change.
If you look at the speech that George Bush made in context, where he talks about a new world order, he's referring to a world where the United States is the one superpower. You see, there used to be two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. But when the Soviet Union fell, you're left with one superpower in the world, the United States. And when the global elites like, George W. Bush or Bill Clinton or any of these people use the term New World Order, that's what they're referring to. That's what they mean by it.
In the wake of the Cold War, in a world where we are the only remaining superpower, it is the role of the United States to marshal its moral and material resources to promote a democratic peace. It is our responsibility. It is our opportunity to lead. There's no one else.
It will be your generation's task to respond to this new world. It is America that the world looks to for help. The question each of you will face is not whether America will lead, but how we will lead. Not just to secure our peace and prosperity, but also extend peace and prosperity around the globe.
For the first time in history, we have seen a movement, a political and social movement that is truly global in nature. So it's not just a new order, it's a new world order. And in that sense, it's quite accurate, because this is new in history.
Smoke, new bed, 105, 2 power. All right, sit tight. We'll get to you as soon as we can. There's staying up at the smoke news bed, man. That's all we need. That's all we can do. What's where you guys up to? We're getting there. There's a few like it, man. I got 1, 2. I understand that, sir. We're on the way. It's wind there. It's black. It's iron. Man, my wife thinks I'm all right. I called her and said I was leaving the building outside. Just look at us, 2 broken windows.
And to those who understand biblical prophecy, what comes next will not be a surprise. At some time in the future, the King James Bible states that everyone on the planet